Hello, and welcome to this course on how to issue an efficient and effective request for proposal. The RFP is one of the most important documents that supply management creates and issues. The process and each element of the RFP is what helps in the development of an enforceable and manageable contract. This course is going to guide you through not only the process, but the rationale used for each step. It covers the key elements needed to ensure that each vendor can submit a complete and competitive response. It also addresses the roles and responsibilities of others who have a vested interest in the end result. At the completion of this course, you will have a complete step-by-step guide that can be used to issue any request for proposal in the competitive bid process. This course covers the 8 steps required to develop and manage the process from assembly of the document to receipt of each vendor's response. It will provide you with a solid understanding of each step in the process and the important part each plays in the overall process. Creating an RFP is not simply a clerical task. It requires knowledge and a thought process that keeps the end goal in mind. The goal is to ensure that the RFP is without ambiguity and provides the vendors with sufficient detail to submit their bids without exceptions. When structured and issued correctly, an RFP helps to identify qualified vendors capable of providing, creating, or developing a product or service that can help the organization meet its goals. The RFP process starts with an internal request issued by one of SCM's internal customers, which includes the scope of work. The scope of work is one of the most overlooked and most difficult documents to develop, which is arguably the most important part of any RFP and subsequent contract or agreement. Compensation is another critical piece of the RFP document. If the RFP does not stipulate how the compensation is to be structured, the vendor's responses will be inconsistent and vary in range from a lump sum price to a complex formula for determining price. Neither of these is optimum for comparing pricing. When the RFP sets out the compensation model, it sets the tone and expectations and puts all vendors on a level playing field. Terms and conditions. The terms and conditions used in the RFP may be the trickiest part of all. In this section, we'll cover what the challenges are when the wrong set of terms and conditions are used, and the issues they cause during the RFP process, and even in the analysis of the proposals submitted by different vendors. The roles and responsibilities of each element of the RFP will differ depending upon the initiator of the RFP. In this section, we cover the different sources of the request and who is responsible for what. We also cover how different organizational structures often determine the extent each plays in the process. The amount of communication, how and who communications are managed, should be front and center in the RFP. It is required to ensure that all members of both the company's team and the vendor's team are aware of the rules. It is these rules that ensure transparency of the process and demonstrate that no favoritism exists. Assembly of the RFP documents may have changed since receipt of the initial request by the supply management team. Once you've gone through the steps in this course, you'll find that some require revision and additional documents are also needed. You'll find a checklist in this section of the course to help ensure that no information is missed and that the process is completed as efficiently as possible. Bid clarifications are an unavoidable part of the process. This section will help you manage them and the responses quickly while ensuring that all vendors are in receipt of the same information. It also provides a methodology that can help reduce the number of exceptions in the responses or during the bid analysis.